Hello Eisenhower artists. So this week we're going to be using lots of elements of art to create this cactus garden. Now remember the elements, they're like the ingredients of a recipe. Things that we use in different combinations and different measurements to create art. So we're thinking about the shapes that we're going to use to make the cactus. You'll pick 2 or 3 or 4 to go in your cactus garden. Those shapes are going to be overlapping each other, so that's going to create the element of space. Not outer space, that's the space of the things in your art. In the objects, around the objects, when something is in front of something else, overlapping, things that look far away and things that look close in your art. That's the element of space. And then we're going to use pattern. That element will be used on the pot. The geometric patterns that you're going to design, inspired by Native American cultures in the Southwest, to make a pattern in your drawing. Okay, so we're going to use the same supplies that we've been using. Pencil with a good eraser, any color supplies that you have, combination of crayons, colored pencils, and markers. Okay, like we usually do, fold the page to give yourself guidelines on the paper. Just a soft fold, don't smash it. So this helps you with the size of your shapes and where to put them on the page. Fold it in half, open it up, fold it in half the other way. So now you have 4 corners of the page, put a dot in the middle. This is going to be the top of the pot, so it needs to be pretty wide. Go over almost to the edge on each side. Now we're going to make an oval that's kind of smashed down. That's called an ellipse shape. Shape is an element of art. Okay, so you're going to connect this side, a long curve like this, like a rainbow, but it's flattened down. It's that ellipse shape. And then on the bottom, another curve about like that. All right, and then the sides of the pot, you're just going to start here at this dot. And you're going to go down with a little curve. Don't go too far down to the bottom. Start at the other side. Go down and curve it. Okay, now don't make it diagonal in like that. Go straight down first and then start to curve it. Okay, and then you're going to connect it at the bottom with a little curve. And if one part was too long, just erase that away. So that's the basic shape of the pot. Now we're going to draw the shape of the cacti inside the pot. So get rid of that first dot. We're done with those side dots. I'm going to show you some ways to draw cactus shapes, and then I'm showing you this so that you can pause and then maybe pause the video, and then maybe you'll want to draw a different shape than I drew. And you can draw it from these examples. So let's start with the side here, this long, narrow, the tallest one. You'll need to have one that's taller than the other, so think of like a tall, a medium, and a short. It helps give it variety, which makes your artwork look nicer. So the tall one, let's look at the bottom of it. So where that fold is right here, you're going to put a little curve on that fold. And then let's see how long you want to make it. Put a dot on how tall you're going to make it. All right, so then from this dot, you're going to start curving down and then go back up to the dot, curve again, like that. Okay, so this is the first overlapping shape. This cactus is now covering up the back of the pot. So we got to make sure and get rid of that line. All right, the next cactus shape, I'll show you the example again if you want to pause and choose a different one that I'm choosing. I'm going to do the moon cactus. So it has like wiggly lines and then the circle shape at the top. So now we're always going to start with the bottom of the cactus. This one's going to go in front of the narrow one a little bit. So it's going to be down lower here the opening of the pot, draw the bottom of it. So it's going to look like that. It can be curvy or it can be more straight. You decide. And then, so the edge of the moon cactus is a little, just random curves like that. And then the top is random curves. Curve, curve, curve. Now see where that went in front? I have to get rid of that line, the overlap. Once your eye starts to see overlapping shapes in your artwork, it really makes your artwork look nice. It's like an advanced skill that can impress people in your artwork. And then the moon cactus has another edge to it that's just wiggly, random wiggles, and it connects down there. So that overlapped that part, the back of the opening of the pot. And then the rounded shape on top, I'm going to make a curve like a ball, just like that. So I have to get rid of this line, right? It's in front of the first cactus. And then it has, start at the top on the side and make a curve. On the other side, a curve. Go toward the middle of it now, curve and curve. I'm going to add the spines later. So how much space do I have for some more cacti in the cactus garden? I'm going to put the flapjacks, and it's going to be back here. See, this is the soil of your cactus garden, all this area. And so I'm going to put it so it's back here a little bit. Start with the middle curve. It's like a teardrop shape. So there's the overlap. You got to erase that part. And then it's got shapes that are on the side, but they're more narrow. And then this side, as soon as it touches the moon cactus, it's just going to disappear behind it. So I'm just going to stop right there. And then it's going to have another curve here. There's another overlap. Erase that. And it's going to have little random curves wherever I want. I'll put one more curve right here on the flapjack. See another overlap, so I need to erase. Okay, so now in the soil I'm going to put a few little rocky shapes too. Now we're going to make the edge of the pot thicker later. This is the edge of the pot, the opening. So you can do some little rocks if you want right now. Maybe one that's a little bit bigger. That's the soil. Oh, I just realized over here on the first one that I drew, I need to make these lines on it. This one. Okay, so I'm going to start at the top and go down one side, go to the top and go down the other side. And then at the top again, down toward the middle, at the top, and down the middle. Okay, I'm adding the spines later. Okay, I have one more space here. I'm going to put the prickly pear. So remember, we start with the bottom of the cactus first. So I'm going to draw it like this, and it's a big shape. Oh no, I'm going to cover up part of the flapjack. That's okay. See everything that I just covered up? Erase that away. Okay, and then prickly pears have multiple layers. They're stacked, okay? And they're shaped kind of ovally, kind of like a teardrop. The bottom is more narrow, and they can just get stacked in weird directions. Oh, covered up flapjack again, so I have to erase. Okay, I think I need one more shape on my prickly pear. It's more narrow at the bottom, so it might help to do the top curve and then go down like that and make it narrow. Okay, let's add the spines. Look at the different shapes. There's like a V-shaped spine, and then the star-shaped spine, The prickly pear has some dots with a straight line. Okay, so put different shapes for the spines. Don't make them all the same. The flapjack doesn't have any spines. That one is a succulent. I mentioned that in the intro video, the succulent. All right, so the moon cactus has like the V. So on each of these lines that we drew, that's where you're going to put some spines. And I'm going to do that directly with the marker. So before I do any more details, I'm going to start using my marker. You know the trace and erase. This is a very important step to erase all those stray pencil marks and get it ready for color. I'm going to fast forward and trace the basic shapes I have so far, the pot and the shapes of the cactus, and then catch up with me and I'll show you the details, the spines. Okay, so now I'm going to start doing the details so I don't have to do it twice. I'm just going to do it right away with the marker. So these spines are going to be the little V shapes. Be very careful with your lines. Don't get sloppy with it. Details are important in your artwork. All right, this one doesn't have spines. That's the succulent. The prickly pear has like dots all over it first. I haven't erased my extra pencil lines yet. And then it has the little spines on it. I'm going to make some like a V and some just straight. And make sure you have some that are sticking off the edge of it, the outline part, like that. It has to have some on the edges. Some V's and some are just one line. All right, and then this last one here, I'm going to make the star shape spines. So I go like an X and then through the middle and the middle. X across the middle, horizontal and vertical. For the star shape spines, that means it's an X and then you go down the middle straight, across the middle horizontal. X, X, horizontal, vertical, like an asterisk. And then right on the edge too, don't forget the edge. That really makes it look better with the spines coming off the edge. All right, I think I've got my details. This moon cactus, I'm going to put a couple little lines like this. Erase, erase, erase. Get rid of all those pencil lines. Okay, there's one more line to do with the marker. It's the background edge here to have it sitting, either it's sitting on the ground or on a table. Instead of just floating in space, we're going to put a line behind the pot. You can think of it as being on the ground or maybe it's on a table. So kind of in the middle of the pot, put a line going off the page, and then in the same spot, just skip over and go across right off the page. It has to go off the page. Okay, next we're going to think about the pattern on the pot. Now this is inspired by artwork seen from Native American cultures in the Southwest, like I mentioned in the intro video, from the states of Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Oklahoma. So I want you to notice these shapes are geometric. There's two basic kinds of shape. The geometric ones are like the shapes you see in math. They have straight edges and corners, except the circle, right? That doesn't have a straight edge, but that is a math shape. The other type of shape, there's two basic categories. The other category is organic. So they're just random curves and lines, more curvy with random parts and edges. Geometric, organic. Geometric is what we're going to do, inspired by this type of pottery. Okay, so I'm going to have these pages here as we're doing the art. Please look at these and get some inspiration and ideas. You can just use the same thing that you see here if you like, or it might get you thinking about your own ideas to combine different shapes and make your pattern. Okay, so check out these patterns. Are you getting any ideas? What you would like on your pot? I really like this one right here, so I'm definitely going to use that one. And I really like that one also. You might want to pause the video and look and think which ones you like. So I'm going to put another line here that's just going to be like the top edge of the pot. I think I'll just leave that blank. And I'll do that at the bottom too, like the bottom edge. Now when you're doing these, give it a little bit of a curve. Don't make it straight across. See how this had a little dip and a curve? Because that helps to make it look round like a pot, curving. So, and then I'm going to separate it into 2 or 3 more sections. You need to do at least 2 different patterns. So I'll do, my next pattern will be about this size, curve it, and it's going to be this one here. So it's a little shape like this, and then a big one, and then a circle, and then it goes opposite and little. All right, so now I'm going to turn those into double lines like that and connect it. See, now it's a double line. Well, actually, I'm going to make that go right to the edge like that. So it's a double line, and connect it to make it a shape. So then I went like this. Okay, double line, connect it. And then it's the big one, double line, a circle, another big one, small one. It has to be a double line, and connect it. And then what would come next? Pointing this way. Double line, connect it. All right, cool. Next pattern I'm going to try, I'm going to make another section on the pot, and I'll do big zigzags. One small, one tall. And then it was repeating. I'm just going to fit whatever I can fit until it runs out of space. Okay, now be very careful with your lines. No sloppy lines. All right, one more section of the pot. Okay, I like these triangles. It's one triangle pointed up, and then it's pointed down. I'll make a little one on the edge. So make sure you pause the video and look at all these pattern examples. And we're going to talk about color next time. I want you to focus this week on getting the shapes, the cactus, the overlapping, the details of the spines, and the pattern on your pot. All right, take time to look at all these examples and see what ideas you get. Okay, so next week we're going to focus on the color. See you next time.